Alright, I'm going to make a very quick video for my DOSBox settings that I'm going to be using for my Wing Commander 2 playthrough. Now if you got Wing Commander 2 via the GOG store like I did, you'll find the path is right here. Program files x86, Galaxy Client, Games, Wing Commander 2. Just like Wing Commander, the main thing that you have to worry about is this DOSBox wc2.conf file. So we're just going to open that up real quick. Just a few things I did here. Once again, for video purposes, I just changed full screen to false, but I set my full screen resolution to match what my monitor is running, basically 1080p. And for output, I did OpenGL NB for non-bilinear. You may want to use OpenGL or Direct Draw as your preference is concerned there. I didn't change anything here in the DOSBox settings, but in the render, I did make the aspect ratio true and scalar normal 3 times. Other than that, CPU should be a little more consistent with this game, hopefully. So I just basically pretty much left it at the defaults, though I did add a fixed in there because that's what you're technically supposed to do. Sound quality, once again, I've set to 48,000 for the rate. And for my MIDI, I have it set to MIDI config 1 to point to my Roland MT32. And this is a pretty important setting here. Once again, Sound Blaster set to an OPL rate of 48,000. But as of June 26, 2021, the IRQ by default was set to 5 in this configuration file, and I had to change it to 7 because I didn't see any way of changing the actual IRQ in the game itself. So I had to change it here in this configuration file, and I'll show you that here in just one quick second. But yeah, I changed it to IRQ 7, and of course ignore Gus and speaker because we're not going to use that. And then my joystick I've got set to FCS because I'm using a Thrustmaster. I did the time to true. And that's it as far as my settings in this configuration file. So you have these install executables that you can run to change your sound settings. So I'm just going to show you real quick how I did that. Very simple. Just go into the DOSBox directory, double click DOSBox, mount C, and I go into the C directory. See, everything's there, so we'll just run the install. And so here's where you can set either Roland MT32 in case you're using the MUT emulator, which of course I recommend if you don't have an actual Roland MT32, or you can keep using AdLib or Creative Sound Blaster. Really not recommended as far as sound is concerned. And then you say yes if you want to have speech, or no if you don't. It says configuration correct, you just say yes or no. If you notice here, it says speech IRQ 7. There's no way of changing that except in that configuration file, because I tried to change it to the IRQ of 5, which is what was set before. But if you have that IRQ set differently in your config file, the game will lock up as soon as you try to start it. You'll hear like a couple of words in speech, and then it'll lock up and it won't work anymore. And yeah, really that's about it as far as what I'm doing for my settings, and just get into playing the game next. Oh, not entirely. I do have this folder I created here called WC for Wing Commander, and I copied over my 2 save game files from the previous Wing Commander game. So if all works as I hope it does, we should be able to import my character from my playthrough of Wing Commander. But yeah, that is it as far as my settings. A little more quick this time. I didn't even really modify this WC2 config. I just used the install command to do that. Alright, see y'all later.